Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Flower Power Live, my weekly show where I share with you some wisdom or history or other cool stuff about plants that I love. And this week, rather than one specific plant, I've decided to talk to you about seeds and the importance of the both physical planting of seeds and the metaphorical planting of seeds in your life. So thank you for joining me. My name is Allison and I'm an herbalist, ecologist, and educator. And I love everything plant. And I started this show just to share it with you and because I love these things myself. So welcome. Today is February 15th. And this past couple of months, I have been working with a really awesome group of people to put together a seed summit for Slow Food USA. If you know me at all, you know I've been involved with the slow food movement for many years now. And we are bringing together farmers and experts and activists all around different aspects of seeds, from cuisine to seed saving in your own community and all kinds of great things. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to put the link down below because I'd love for some of you to go. And we'll be talking about, historical, ancestral seeds, what's going on right now, and some of the sort of at-risk things about seeds for the future. So it would be really awesome if you would like to join me. So at the same time, it's late winter, and so I am thinking about planting seeds. I got a bunch of packets here that I've ordered. And so I've got seeds in my head, seeds in my hands. And that's why I chose to do a show about seeds tonight. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the lure of seeds. So if you have ever looked at a seed catalog, the promise of the incredible garden is staring you right in the face and, hey, you want everything. And we are definitely attracted to something different or exotic. And so it reminded me of this poem that a friend of mine sent me years ago, and by Rudyard Kipling, and it's called Pan in Vermont. And the overall theme of the poem is that is about a seed, like a traveling seed salesman, and how every spring he comes through the town and bedazzles all the gardeners with his wares and talks them all into buying things, and promises them the grandeur of the gardens and so on. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You can find it, but here's my favorite excerpt from that poem, which it just shows how us gardeners just get suckered in every single time. What though his phlox and hollyhocks are half a month demised? What though his ampelopsis clambered not as advertised? Though every seed was guaranteed and every standard true, forgive, they did not live, believe, and buy anew. From Rudyard Kipling. And I believe that was probably written sometime in, like, I don't know when he was there, like in the late 1800s. I'm not that familiar with it. Back in the day when they still traveled around to sell you things. So this is all to say, just be aware of what promises you allow to lure you in, both in life and in the garden. Choose that which is compatible with your terrain, right? Your personal terrain. I'd love to have an avocado tree, but where I live, I'm sticking with apples. Now, this is not to say that you should not be adventuresome and try a lot of different things. A good gardener knows that diversity is key in the garden, especially with our ever-changing and unpredictable climate. If you plant a variety of things, of course, something's going to have a good year this year, right? And one of the best ways to ensure that what you plant is good for your terrain and for your garden is to buy from a local seed source. And I just recently, I have always, for many, many years where I live, have ordered from a group called Fedco Seeds. It's actually a cooperative, and they They spend their money. They don't spend their money on fancy packages. They save money and they repack a lot of things, and I've always ordered from them. And then Seed Savers Exchange is a wonderful organization that is doing a lot. They do a lot of historical work. They're saving a lot of the stories and preserving a lot of heirlooms, and working a lot with Native Seed Search, which preserves a lot of the sort of indigenous seeds and helping out in that area. And then I recently discovered a small company called Fruition Seeds, and these are grown in the Northeast, so they're perfect for my garden. And these guys are all organic. And so I ordered some from them, and I've got a few other seeds coming in from some small companies this year. So I highly encourage you to support these small seed companies. Another great one is Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, if you're a little bit farther south, and they specialize more in like a little bit warmer zones that where I am, but I did order some stuff from them as well. So do you start seeds? Are you planting some seeds this year? This is the question of the day. So if you are planting some seeds, write down below in the comments and let me know what it is you are starting, or maybe what's your favorite seed company. So this ritual of ordering is really important to me, and I love it. And one of the things I've started doing in the last few years that's a little bit new for me is I've started saving my own seeds. So I find that I'm planting stuff, I'm growing it out, I'm not even harvesting any of it because I want to save the seeds. So when you want to save seeds, you have to let things grow way beyond, usually, where you would actually eat it, so that it's very mature and ready to save seeds. I'm not going to get into the whole details of seed saving, although it is something that I have some other videos on. And if you've never saved any seed, I suggest you give it a try this year. There's some plants that are super easy to save and easy to do, but there's a couple things you need to know about the type of seed that you would plant if you want to save it. So there's basically 3 different kinds of seed that you will read about in your seed catalog. The first one, it's hybrid seeds, open pollinated seeds, and then heirloom seeds. So what is the difference between these 3? A hybrid seed is a seed that has been specifically pollinated at a like seed grower, special breeder kind of a company. All right. So they are intentionally crossing different plants to get a desired outcome. And they are sometimes marked as F1. You'll see that in the seed catalog. And usually these are for like disease resistance a lot of the times, but sometimes it can be for other kinds of traits like a tougher tomato that can be, shipped longer distances. So these seeds, you are not really going to be able to save and get what you planted because you don't have the right parents, right? You only get those when you have the 2 parents crossing to create the final seed. And truthfully, these seeds are patented and sort of owned by the seed companies. And I don't know if it's really illegal to save those seeds, but that's something that might be coming up in the future and something for a future show that we need to be aware of. Now, open pollinated seeds is just how it sounds. It's open, it's pollinated by anything around it, which means it has a higher genetic diversity. And in general, that means it's more adaptable. You're going to have multiple plants with a wider gene pool, and so more chance of them being able to adapt again to your own region and your microclimate and things like that. So heirlooms are basically just a type of open pollinated plant that has a story that goes with it. So open heirlooms means that these seeds have been passed down through generations. And I mean, some seeds from indigenous peoples have been passed for thousands of years. And talk about regionally adapted, right? These seeds are very well adapted to the areas in which they've been grown and saved for so many generations. So there's a great explanation on the Seed Savers Exchange website of and I'll stick that in my blog post, which I'll put down in the link below if you want to read a little bit more from them. Now, another kind of seed that people hear about is genetically modified seed. This is not something that a home gardener is really going to use. It's a seed that's been like genetically spliced in a laboratory. It's a little funky. Those are really reserved for things like commodity crops, such as, corn or soybean. And that is, again, like another whole episode just to talk about what those are and how they work. But those are definitely not something you can save. In fact, it is highly illegal to save those. They are owned and the seed rights belong to the company. Be aware of that. So let's get down a little more to the good parts of seeds. And that is the just truly amazing, truly awesome, in the true sense of the word, awesomeness of a seed. This little shriveled up, dried piece of plant material contains the entire life cycle, the entire information for a whole plant, from the acorn, the mighty oak grows, those kinds of ideas. And so I can't help but bring in a little bit of thought around, well, what really causes seeds to sprout and to grow? Is it really just environmental conditions? What is the little magical spark that causes that seed to suddenly come to life? And that is a little bit of the message that I got this week from the oracle cards that I drew. Now, since I wasn't doing a specific plant, I decided to draw just a couple cards, one from the Herb Crafter's Tarot and one from the Starseed Oracle. The Starseed Oracle is more of like a cosmological message type of an oracle. And so the first card that came up was the Camellia sinensis, and that is the tea plant. And the tea plant is something that is part of a daily ritual for millions of people across the globe, whether it just be your morning cup of tea or whether it be the whole sacred tea ceremony. And this is what the card had to say about it. Trust the magic of presence. See the sacred in the simple. Create new magic from what is familiar. Now, preparing a pot of tea with intention is a simple act, and it's an act that brings reverence into your day. So when we plant a seed, we believe that will grow. We have this belief in sort of the magical part of it. And I wanted to add another card in to just give some more insight into this idea of this magical piece and this important ritual. And so the card that I drew from the from this deck was called Trust the Timing. And this is what it says. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Now, we tend to feel like that a lot as humans, that we don't have enough time to do the things we want to do. Everything has a season, and you are being called to trust the one that you are in. Seeds have been planted. Don't go digging them up before they have a chance to sprout, okay? What seeds are you planting? Are you planting seeds in your daily life, like simple acts of caring and tending that you know are going to grow into something beautiful or nourishing or even giving? These are so important to take notice of these small acts, these small bits of magic and wonder in our lives. We forget to do this. We forget to slow down and look at these amazing small things that are actually so miraculous in our everyday life. So perhaps this week you can take some time to just kind of notice, what are those rituals that you do in your life? What are those little things that you're doing to care for yourself and that are important to you that, I don't know, maybe it's brushing your teeth, but maybe it's something beyond that, right? So I have a challenge for you. Now is the perfect time to plant seeds, whether it's in your own life or whether it's in your garden life. But at this time of year where I am, it's still late winter, but all around me, I can already see a few signs of spring. And so I'm challenging you, if you're not going to be planting seeds and going into that act of putting seeds in the ground and waiting for them to sprout, find some other plant outside, a tree or a shrub, or either in your yard or someplace that you walk by regularly, and just start to notice what is happening. Are the buds starting to swell? Is the color of the bark changing? A lot of times on these smaller plants, we can start to see these signs of spring coming. And let's just observe either every day or every few days what is happening and appreciate the small miracles that are happening around you every day. So that's my message for tonight about planting seeds for your future. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you're interested in getting more involved with a community of people that wants to share and learn more about plants and growing plants and using plants medicinally, or just connecting with nature, feel free to join my Facebook group, Flower Power. And I'll put the link down below. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a great week. Take care.